Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today I'm going to do a couple of challenges that have good unlocks attached to them. Starting with challenge number 17, because this one is trickier. We have anti-gravity, I think it's called, so whenever we hold the attack button, the tears are going to be in place for a while. And this strange attractor, which makes enemies jump towards your tears in a magnetic fashion. Haven't actually tried the strange attractor since Repentance, so I do not know if anything has changed about it. But it does usually cause a bit of a mess if you start having a whole bunch of tears next to each other, because they all sort of improve on their own magnetism that way, and it makes the run a little bit more dangerous. I recall this challenge being hard, but also I haven't done it in years, so we're just gonna see what happens. We only need to go to Mom's Foot, which doesn't seem that bad. We're not gonna get any item rooms this time around either. So just shops as per challenge tradition. And there's a golden poop right there, so hopefully we can get that soul heart in the shop, which would be nice. But I think really the main thing just is to not hold the attack button, and I'm not sure if that really is just the whole challenge, is to just not hold it, because this creates kind of a mess. Although at the same time, it's not really that unwieldy either, because all the enemies are just sort of flying into it. So maybe I'm just misremembering this. Maybe the strange attractor is just a bit better now. But I don't know, so far it feels like if I just run in circles in a room that it's more or less just gonna resolve itself. Who knows? I'm gonna take this because I believe I got extra health, lower damage, higher tear rate. Well, could have been worse, but not great. I'm gonna just quickly check my curse room. I'm not sure where my secret room is, if there even is one on this floor, because none of the rooms really line up very well, which is unusual. Managed to open that chest before the invulnerability period ran out, so that's nice. But yeah, I have a hunch where my super secret room is, but my regular secret room, I actually don't know, because it cannot be next to the boss room. And the curse room is a thin room, so I don't think it can be there either. So what up with that? Because this is probably the super secret room. Yeah. There's a bunch of pills in it. Would have liked to get this before picking up that Eternal Heart. But fortunately, none of them were terrible. We get full health, which is probably going to keep us alive pretty well. I'm genuinely curious about my secret room right now. That's really the only reason I'm still here. I'm going to try exactly one place, and it's this room. And if it's not here... Oh my god. That's actually so stupid. Like, the layout of the room is one that does tend to be next to regular secret rooms, but that's so strange. It's actually so bizarre to have a secret room next to one room. Fair enough. One floor in, and I'm already baffled by today's events. I'm excited to see where this challenge is gonna go. However, I do feel like it's unlikely to get more exciting than this. The strange attractor does have some uses, like you can see here. You can, at least if you do this, sort of take chests out of the spiky area and get stuff that way. So it's not like it's exclusively a terrible item, it's just a little unwieldy in terms of this. If you're not ready for the ridiculous movement that's gonna happen with all the enemies and such, it's very likely you're just going to get overwhelmed. There is a tinted rock there, which hopefully has some soul hearts inside it. But the fact of the matter is that we have a full health pill in our pill pool. And we have some protection as well, so if you can ignore the clicking sound of my controller that is very possibly audible the entire time during this challenge, it's gonna be alright for the most part. Plus the higher tear rate might actually end up working out from the experimental treatment. Having said that, I wouldn't mind a little bit more damage than 2.5. There is half a soul heart there, so I might grab that after we are done with this fight. Need to not hold the attack button, as I have stated previously. But the singular tears really do not attract that much. Sure, sure when a couple of them are in the air because, well, they haven't hit something yet, then it's not too great. Also, I just lost my Devil Deal chance because, quite frankly, this damage is absurdly bad. And I wasn't really paying close enough attention there, but look how long it takes to kill even one of those red enemies there. That's unfortunate. If I had taken that half a soul heart, we would have still had our Devil Deal, but I mean, what can you do? Surely we don't need any items from our Devil Deal anyway, and perhaps the Devil Deal on the next floor was going to be better anyway, so realistically, I would say we've made good choices by taking damage there. On account that I fully believe that this particular Devil Deal was terrible. Also, exploring the floor first probably wouldn't have been a bad idea either, but you know what? This is the first run of the day. The first challenge that we're doing today as well. I'm gonna make some mistakes. This is the warm-up. We have the 4.5 volt, which can be okay, but probably not specifically with the combination of things that we currently have. And I guess I can take this for once. I rarely actually have this as an item. But now we can put bombs down and they'll only explode when I press the button. Otherwise they are just going to lay around. Which, I don't think it works for troll bombs, but I'm not sure if it makes those blow up actually. Might try it at least. I'm guessing as well that if I use this without a bomb being on the field, it would still count as activated an active item. So for trinkets and such, it is probably pretty good. But other than that, it's mostly just going to be me forgetting I have the item and then waiting for a bomb to explode. Because I can just do this. They're not going to be scary either. I can just walk around. But if I want to blow them up, I can. I could do this safely with bombs, and I will. Plus, having the bomb explode when I want to does make that a little easier as well. Because then I can just press the explode button when it reaches the middle, so that's lovely. We have a weirdly colored sack head. I'm not actually sure what's going on there, but fair enough. The sack has a weird golden appearance. And, you know, we got plenty of health to go into our next floor, so provided that we don't actually need damage to finish this run, we're gonna be okay. I wouldn't mind just a bunch of bombs and then just blow everything up, actually. That would be kind of nice. Plus, if I do this... Okay, yeah, that doesn't really work when he summons an enemy. I was gonna say, I can just lure this enemy next to me because of the strange attractor and then just destroy them that way, but then a fly happened, you see. Oh my god, even the gray flies are not dying very quickly with my build right now because of that low damage, but it's gonna have to be okay, I suppose. If I can get flight, that'd be great. Right now I can just make the coins move towards me slightly at least, but that is unfortunately not going to get them to cross that gap right there. Let's see if we can run past these and then just put down a whole bunch of tiers here. I shot like 4 tiers into that skeleton after he became a skeleton, and it didn't even come close to killing him. Yeah, this is a little worrying for sure. I hope we get like a stapler or something from one of our bosses, because this is getting less than ideal. Also a little concerned about that enemy in the middle there, because he is going to start shooting in a second. And I'm a little bit distracted by these enemies right now, so... Too many things to look out for on this lovely day. Whole bunch more health. I suppose when you shoot those shooting things in the middle there once, it is going to stop shooting until it grows all the way back again, but... I did nothing with that information, I suppose. Tempted to blow these up. I feel like there's a secret room here, actually. Like right next to where I'm standing, so I might just check for that in a minute. But honestly, one of the main things is that I will take away from this challenge in the end, not a secret room, is that tapping the button a whole bunch is a lot of fun. But I'm actually more concerned about it showing up on the video than the ambulances and things outside of my house from time to time, because it is rather close to the microphone, I suppose, and there's a weirdly loud clicky noise, and I hope I'm not pointing all your attention to the clicky noise of my gamepad now. That's a lie, that's specifically what I'm doing right now, I suppose. But, fortunately this challenge isn't too long. Mom's Foot we're almost halfway there already. If you consider the caves, one being halfway. The boss room is right here as well. We have 3 bombs. And we're fighting Peep, so let's just get Peep to go into all of these tiers right here. There's a tinted rock right there, so actually if Peep could just jump towards that rock, which is a little bit more tricky now that the whole floor is yellow. But it would be nice if you could just come over here, Peep. Just go over here. I can make this bomb blow up when you land. That would be ideal. There you go. That did just a marginal amount of damage. Also, we got 1 gray chest out of that tinted rock right there, which is not the best, but at least the sack made it slightly more appealing. I feel like that bomb actually did more damage. I wonder if it is based on how close they are to the bomb, or maybe I just didn't pay attention or something. I don't know. Either way, we got old bandage, so even more health. Plus we might drop red hearts when we take damage. There we go. Right. I just remembered, I mean, what this item is like with antimatter, and it's a bit unusual. And also with the strange attractor now has a slight discoloration as well, which I don't think was always the case, so it's kind of nice that they did something with that. I'm also a little concerned that this is just going to magnetize enemies. Hey, it's this room again. It is magnetizing enemies. That actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's a little tricky to aim, but overall I will say that this probably does make the challenge a little bit easier. Plus we get to see this combination of items, which is a little less usual, I suppose. I am probably just going to keep the remainder of my red hearts for whatever else happens, because I think having that full health pill is probably going to be more effective than any devil deal can really assist me with right now. Especially combined with the old bandage as well, like it's going to increase the amount of red hearts that we're going to get. This is a little concerning. But that's just the beauty of this, I suppose. It is nice to just immediately get something to not really break the challenge, I suppose, but definitely make it a lot easier. But also a lot more visually interesting, because it is a challenge where it's mostly just pressing one button over and over. It's just pressing the attack button a lot. Plus I can actually hold the attack button now without having to worry about stuff, so really this is more or less the best case scenario when you think about it. But I suppose it's pretty effective. The 2.5 damage stat is still not great for any flies that may spawn and such, but other than that, there is you. I suppose I could probably just blow you up a bit. Yeah, that's working pretty well. Doesn't seem that interested in the whatchamacallit there, the attraction from my magnet, but fair enough. Actually a damage up. Pretty much back at base damage from before we took that experimental treatment, so slowly but surely we are becoming exceptionally average, and I for one cannot wait. Let's go into a room that's not super slow. And somehow I've elected on this one right here. Even though I do not love antimatter brimstone, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it has a positive effect other than the fact that I don't have to worry about my strange attractor as much, really. Let's just create a line here. Really, only one hand. How unusual. But yeah, any brimstone, with maybe the exception being the marked tiers brimstone, I suppose. Any other brimstone is more or less my preference of brimstone, really, because it's just so strong, and having to wait for it to actually activate it's just not that great, is it? It is kind of nice that they do get stuck into the sort of void that's making the brimstone, I suppose, and that, interestingly enough, makes it better than regular anti-gravity brimstone. But having said that, I still would prefer the old faithful, I suppose. Let's just bomb out of this. I should probably be using my my bombies more as well, but once again, it's one of those things I'm not very used to doing. There you go. Definitely shot in the wrong direction, but it ended up working out. Even more soul hearts. I only saw one, but 2 of them healed me, so fair enough, I suppose. But let's speed this up a little bit. Let's just not do big rooms anymore. And instead just run to the end, because there is a couple more challenges I want to do after this, and we've already been playing for 13 minutes. Which is not that long, I suppose, for this particular challenge, but still, I want to do like 4 challenges in this video, so if I could just get that out of the way, that would be lovely. There's just some challenges where the unlocks are so incredibly good. They're not even all very difficult challenges, but they're just challenges that you have to do at some point. And I just never really know a good time for them, I suppose. And as long as this cage doesn't jump, then I don't mind it, but that is more or less how he jinxed it, I suppose. Having said that, I just ran into him, so really what do I know? I'm a little curious about any devil deals that I might get, though. There you go. Now you're doing the stupid stuff. Apparently there was creep there. I didn't even see it. It looked more or less the same as the floor there. Another red heart container. Another great thing. We are on depths 1, so taking the shovel doesn't really help me out here. Had I gotten it 1 floor sooner, would have used it immediately. Because that would have saved us an entire floor, but this would have just taken us to the womb. And I'd rather just finish the challenge properly, I suppose. I might do this big room because I feel like I'm not going in the right direction. I will just get rid of these first. Huh. Kind of unusual that those enemies take damage from fires. I would have expected them to just become better as well, but I guess I may have actually genuinely never seen those jump in fire and actually have that thought before. Weird, because they do act very, like they have an extra attack, so it's like, why are they suddenly weak to fire because of it? It's a weird circumstance, I suppose. But it is what it is. Let's just keep moving. I'm a little concerned about telepills bringing me all the way back, so that's the main reason why I'm not taking pills right now. And really the build is fine at this point, so I don't really need anything else. Balls of Steel would be nice, I guess. But the fact of the matter is we have 5 red heart containers and a full health pill, so whatever comes at us is probably gonna be okay. Even if I just headbang into Mom's foot right here, it's probably not gonna be too big of an issue. The main problem is just hitting those side walls, because I'm just gonna have to guess which one is going to open, unfortunately, with how slow this is happening. And it's, I'm gonna say, not very good at guessing so far. But it's fine. We still have 4 bombs as well, so I could just bomb anything that comes our way as well. But, oh man, this is actually such a frustrating weapon. Just the fact that you shoot and the moment it actually starts firing, nothing actually happens because the thing just goes back into the hole again. It's just, if I just do this, there we go. If I just make the hand attack me, that'll work. Whatever, we made it through to the end. We unlocked Death's Touch, which is a pretty damn good item, and one that I look forward to having. Just checking my note what the next challenge is, and that's going to be challenge number 18. Which, I think once again, no item rooms. We are also getting the burning basement now, so I probably should have done this challenge a little bit sooner, because then we wouldn't get floors like these, which are a little bit more difficult. But we start off with the mulligan, which is going to help us spawn flies every now and then when we attack. I think it's like a 1 in 6 chance or something like that, which isn't great, but ultimately is going to give us a couple flies every now and again, and those flies do deal a decent amount of damage. We also have the spider baby, which does something good. Probably. I think it might just be spawn spiders when you take damage or something like that. Genuinely don't fully remember what the item actually does, so something or another. And another floor with a stupidly placed secret room from the look of things. How is this happening? How is this happening every run? I don't understand. Either way, I think I might go get that curse room in a bit, because there is plenty of hearts available, but let's see what kind of boss we have. Also, we have the tick, which kind of limits the amount of trinkets we can take unless we find a matchstick somewhere on this floor. And the first boss is Gemini. At least a nice thing about the tick on the first floor is that having the boss take, what is it, like 15% damage from the get-go, or 10% or something like that. It is pretty good. It does save some time on trying to beat the bosses here, so that is kind of nice. And with this, we can just sort of knock it into a wall until it's over. There we go. We get some more bombs. Do regret picking that up before going into my curse room. And yeah, there's the matchstick. So that's the tick gone. Well, that's one part of the challenge, which I guess we don't have to think about anymore. There might not be a better trinket during this run, so it's not like a terrible thing to take with me. Blowing that up doesn't really do anything in this non-regular mode, I suppose. But yeah, realistically, this is the secret room. With Samson's chains. I don't like Samson's chains, even if it deals 10.7 contact damage per second. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, that wasn't worth it at all. That just made us lose a black heart. But we did get a bunch of spiders in return for taking damage, which I guess is how that item indeed works. So let's just take this soul heart and continue on with the run. I will just take that eternal heart. I could take both. I elect to just take one instead and leave. Goodbye, tick. It probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to take the tick, but I like to point out that it is at least something you can get rid of, I suppose, and ultimately, I don't know what kind of trinket I'm hoping for. I'm honestly barely even sure how the actual tick trinket, how it has to do with anything, but that's fair enough. Also, with the movement speed of the tiers, I think we're technically playing this in normal mode, which I think is just challenge related. I don't know if there are challenges that are actually on hard difficulty, but no, this one isn't, so I guess that's going to make life a little bit easier at least. It might also explain why we occasionally are going to just get a lot more hearts than usual and probably barely any curses, because I think normal mode is pretty much that, like slower tiers and just a better time overall. So that does help out a bit. I'm just going to bomb this. I don't want to deal with this nonsense right here. I have 3 bombs remaining. I might as well throw a bomb every now and again. Retrovision, very good. I do hate looking at things, so this does help out a bit. Also, I guess I never really talked about those enemies that are on fire, that are slowly taking damage and are getting faster every time they take more and more damage. And that's the enemy. That's more or less everything I have to say about it. Just keep them away. Focus on one at a time. That's a coin. I thought it was a trinket. It was very much not a trinket at all. And I think I might just look for my secret room here as well. Waiting for Retrovision to run out. There is a card there, which might as well take it. Ancient Recall. Dice Shard's pretty good. Stars is meh. And 2 of clubs. Could just blow this one up and then use it. Because the Dice Shard, being able to reroll anything is just pretty great. And the fact that if we get something bad in our Devil Deal and we can actually reroll it is just lovely. So let's just blow up that boss right there. Get a soul heart in our gratefulness. That's how people describe that. We get Mr. Squeezy, which is pretty good, and my shadow is garbage. So right, also rerolls consumables. Whoops. Well, that's fine. Tempted by this, but also spending 3 soul hearts on it, not so much. Yeah, I should have just picked up those black hearts. Well, mistakes were made. Let's just keep going. At least it's good to remember how things work, and this was a good wake-up call to have that memory from time to time. Genuinely forgot. I'm so used to re-rolling items, only re-rolling items, and that's like one of the few things that actually re-rolls both. So, fair enough. Way to keep me on edge, Isaac. But with that, we still have not a terrible build to just keep on going. We already had 3 items anyway, which is a normal amount to leave the basement with, so let's just move on. Wouldn't actually have minded getting a few more bombs for this boss either, because getting this boss to eat bombs just makes life a little bit nicer until he goes into the second phase where it just goes diagonally, which makes it a little bit easier, I would say. At that point, red poops seem to spawn. Not at all anymore, which is pretty great. And I say spawn, but it's more just being created by the Carrion Queen. So we're just gonna sit here and shoot at the back for a bit. And as long as you have a decent idea of how diagonal movement works and how hitboxes work, because I got pretty close there, it's not so bad. There we go. We got perfection. We got a whole bunch of hearts. We got a whole bunch of tier rate. Yeah, why not? That's the shovel. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's just do this. Let's see how quick we can actually finish a challenge if we actively set out to just beat it as quickly as possible. I will place that there. I was kind of hoping for one of those recharge babies in that room, because I wouldn't mind to just charge this up in the caves and then just skip depths entirely, pretty much. Because I think, yeah, we just have to go to Mom's Foot again, so if I just get 6 charges into this thing, then I can just leave immediately afterwards and hopefully enter the depths with full health. That would be ideal. It's not like we're going to find a boss room that we can probably interact with. The Emperor card? Alright. Yeah, that helps. Oh, there went perfection, but it doesn't really matter because we don't actually have items that does the Mulligan use luck at all? I don't think so. I do not recall it using luck at least, but I might be misremembering. But I think I have an idea of what the rest of this challenge is going to look like. I will just check out my shop, actually. So that would be nice if there's, like, something good in there, I guess. Don't know what I'm looking for exactly, but something good would be nice. Like, not this specifically, really. Well, at least it charges up our item, I suppose. And there is a Tinted Rock there, so there might be a Soul Heart in here as well. So hopefully I can get back what I lost while trying to fight this boss and some other room previously. There we go. Blow all that up. Get 2 Soul Hearts. Really only needed the 1, but that's okay, I suppose. And with that, let's go down the hole that we created previously. Right here. And that does save us some time. Now I'm hoping I'm not going to get a crawl space when I use this shovel, because it is possible with this item. And we didn't, so very good. And with that, I can just use the Emperor card to go to Mom's Foot with a excessively average build. So there you go. Probably should just kept the tick from the start, shouldn't I? Because that would have saved us some time. But fair enough. I'm gonna stand next to this bomb rock because I'm hoping that the foot can blow it up that way. And deal a little bit of extra damage to the foot. There we go. I think that works. So let's just do the same thing over there. And the spiders are probably going to help out during this fight as well. So give it a minute. It is rare that I get into this fight with such a build, so I might take a couple hits here and there, but the fact of the matter is we have so much health that even if we take all the damage, the spiders might actually just finish the job at that point. So I'm not too concerned. But so far things are going okay. This is probably the quickest I've ever done a challenge as well. Obviously this is taking a minute, but the fact that we didn't have to do like a whole bunch of floors there is just pretty nice. It is, especially for a challenge where you cannot actually get progress for anything else anyway, so really trying to do it as quickly as possible. There is no downside to it if you can survive it. Because ultimately the only goal is to just get those unlocks. I'm really surprised how frequently the hands are actually popping out. With me not actually technically being in range, or maybe I'm just slightly going out of range each time? I'm actually not sure now. But either way, I'm not taking any hits from it, so it's working out. But yeah, let's just keep this up for a little bit longer. This boss is not too bad if you just never get hit. That's really a pretty good strategy for every boss in this game, I suppose, but this boss is no exception. Just move. And before you know it, you win. Provided that the sides actually open up. And sometimes I think you do actually need to kill everything before the sides of this room actually open up, but most of the time they just have a tendency to show up anyway. There we go. What was that? 10 minutes. Pretty good. Not at all disappointed by that. We get Tech Point 5, which is amazing. So if we can get that during a run, that would be lovely. Next up is challenge number 9. Demo Man. We once again have the matchstick, which I'm just going to throw on the floor. And there is also bombs that we can throw around, but we can also blow them up with our detonator. Interestingly enough, the bombs do actually explode even if you don't use a remote detonator, the ones that you shoot from your tiers. Also, the troll bomb I could not blow up with my remote detonator either, so that's kind of good to know, I suppose. And this challenge goes all the way to Mom's Heart, so we do have to go a little bit further than usual. Also, I just noticed that there is a tinted rock in this room. I will get that later, because that is going to be useful. Now, Dr. Fetus is a pretty good item. It is the more fun of the Fetus items. Also, a super special rock here, as you can tell from after I tried to blow it up, it started to get all crackly. So let's just blow it up and get a whole bunch of soul hearts from that, which is pretty good. Also found a super secret room by accident. And no secret room next to the curse room for as far as I can tell. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I do like Dr. Fetus a bit more than its similarly named counterpart, because this does have a bunch of synergies available now, I do believe, and it also seems a little bit more effective based on the things you get, so overall I just think it's neat. But let's see what we can make happen today. The nice thing about this item as well is that if you want, you can also just open every door with bombs. So you can just do this challenge as quickly as possible as well if you so desire. Not sure if I want to go for that right now, because I am a little concerned that fighting Mom's Heart with low damage is going to be a problem, but I'm tempted. I'm definitely tempted. So let's see what is going to happen today. There is still a bunch of hearts on this floor, but after that, I think I will just move on. Might as well blow up the shopkeeper as well while I'm at it, actually. Broken stopwatch is not terrible, but not amazing either. And again, it's not like I'm making progress towards anything by picking it up right now, so I'd rather just go as optimal as possible. The speed up does seem to happen less frequently than the slowdown. Sorry, the other way around. The slowdown happens more frequently than the speed up. So it is not bad in that regard, but yeah, don't love it. Just don't love it. Kind of wish I would have been able to buy that compass though, because that would have just been really nice. That would have sped up the process a lot. Could have blown up those poops thinking about it, and that might have contained the 2 coins I needed, but thought about that a little bit late there. And I will just learn to survive. There we go. Especially since I already got so much health now, I wouldn't mind actually just trying to run through this. We are once again not going to get item rooms either, so we're just gonna have to make do with what we can find in the shops and the secret rooms and such. Another tinted rock. A lot of tinted rocks these challenges today as well. Shot speed down. Does that matter? It might actually. I do feel like my bombs aren't going as far. Oh, gonna try a crawl space with a red chest and a bunch of coins. And another soul heart. We're in basement 2 and we're almost at full health again. So I might speed this up a little bit, seeing as how fast we're going through this. The shot speed down is actually pretty annoying, because I do kind of like being able to throw bomb far. It is just very nice. Another tinted rock, very good. And full health. Very unlikely, I feel, but fair enough. I will take that. That is just pretty great. There is Baby Plum. Unfortunately, the remote detonator is pretty much the one of the better parts of this build, so I will have to destroy my best friend right here. But we do get a luck up. We get that. In all other instances, I would take Sulfur. Actually, sort of tempted by Blood Oath, because we have a lot of soul hearts, and I'm kind of curious how this is going to work out. Plus, I kind of still want to see this animation pop up properly, so let us actually, for once, use Blood Oath properly. Look at it above my head. There we go. It's all bloody, and little drips of blood are coming off it to indicate just how much damage we took. Didn't notice pin there, so that was on me. But let's see if we can get some soul hearts back here. And probably some red hearts as well, because it is going to increase our stats on the next floor if we have maximum red hearts available. A little finicky here, but the speed up that we did get from that ridiculous item is actually helping out a little bit here. It also helps. This item, I guess, is also a little better when you're playing a challenge that's just not very difficult. That does very much help out with whether or not it is worth taking. Also, bombs go over gaps like this, so you can do a little bit more with Dr. Fetus this way than ordinarily. Don't think I want to bother with that key right there, because it's just a little finicky, but we did manage to get a bunch more keys, and that could arguably be seen as a good thing. There is another red heart container to get, but I think yeah, you know what? Sure. Why not? Didn't get another soul heart, unfortunately, but other than that, we will get a little bit more damage and speed, I think, on the next floor. And we'll just have to make do with that. Maybe we'll get a soul heart from the boss as well. Technically possible if you get an item that gives it. Does get a little spooky when I try to do things a little bit quicker than I'm used to, but it's working out. 5 random cards. We got 2 of diamonds. Why not just use that immediately? 2 of spades for 18 keys, for 36 keys. 2 of hearts, which doesn't really do much for my current build, and death, which, yeah, death will clear out a room, I'm sure. Might take a while before I actually use it, but it's probably not too bad. That's a lot of red hearts gone, but that's 2 soul hearts back. And we get like +4 damage on this floor just because we lost all those red hearts, so it's working out. Let's just quickly go here. If we had an item that could turn troll bombs into regular bomb pickups, and that trinket does exist, we could have gotten infinite bombs from that one. Also, I don't think increases knockback is especially what I'm looking for right now, so let us instead just go with what we have. Was feeling confident that there would be a secret room there, but I guess not. Just because I feel confident about it doesn't mean it's true. Also, poops can be used to create bridges, and that can be useful in very specific circumstances, or if you're playing with the blue baby. Simply because the blue baby has poops available from the very start, and therefore you can just put them on the edge of a platform and actually blow them up with bombs. You do have to blow them up with bombs for them to become a bridge, but it is a combination that works, so has some uses every now and then. Let's go here. I guess we have the keys to actually go in here. Eraser is fun, but not as fun with this character, unfortunately, so I'll just take the red heart and leave. Because I suppose we have the money to occasionally buy a red heart, so our next floor is going to become a little bit easier because of it. Wouldn't mind a magic mushroom, I guess, either, from these mushrooms. And it is a bit more tempting to actually just blow up everything when you can, really. I think I'll skip that spiky chest, but so far I'm kind of tempted to just start opening doors with my bombs, I think. Because I am on full soul hearts. And it's just fun. There is a Balls of Steel pill in my pill pool. Also full health, which is incredible, actually. So if we find one of those pills again, that is worth taking. I don't think I want more red heart containers at this point, because I'm thinking I'm getting into the danger zone a bit. Unless I can find a full health pill or something like that, but I think I'm happy with where I currently am in terms of red hearts. So let's speed this up a bit and just actually try and run to our bosses as quickly as we can. If we find an Emperor card, that would be pretty great as well, because I wouldn't mind being able to skip one of the womb floors either. There we go. That does work rather well, doesn't it? Shot speed up, which is pretty nice. There is Death's List, which I don't really feel like. If you kill enemies in a certain order that is indicated by a skull above their heads, then you get things. Occasionally you get stat ups as well, which is pretty great, but I'm fine. I'm happy with not doing that. There's a Chariot card. Let's just use Death here, actually, and take Chariot. Did not think they would survive that. But they are pretty tanky enemies, I suppose, which is fair enough. It's just, I'm just surprised by it, is all. But let's move on a bit. At this point, I am still more or less at full health. I'm missing half a soul heart, but I can live with that. Occasionally, I will clear a room if it's not too troublesome, but for the most part, we are just going for a run. No super secret room here, so let's just fight instead. The Mask of Infamy, not as big a problem when you have bombs at your disposal because the front of the mask doesn't care. They take the damage anyway. Also, I don't see my planetarium actually show up, I just noticed. My planetarium chances. I'm not sure if I turned off the mod or if it just simply doesn't appear during this challenge. I guess it's fairly possible since item rooms don't show up either, so fair enough. Also, I could take the knife, but I think I'm happy with where I am with how this run is going, I suppose. So let's just keep going with what we have. Because I think the Mom's Knife does just overwrite Dr. Fetus, probably. I'm not 100% sure about that, if that's still the case in Repentance, actually, but genuinely wouldn't surprise me. I have no real reason to do this room other than maybe a consumable spawning. But yeah, rooms like that, you might as well just do it because it's one enemy. A full health pill, which I'm actually... Oh, the button stays pressed. That's weird. I wouldn't have expected a button to stay pressed after you left the room, but fair enough. Yeah, full health is going to be useful on the last floor specifically, I think, so I will just keep that. Unless I want to just have the stat up for the next floor or something like that. And occasionally it can be good. But I think I would rather just keep going like this. It does feel rather noticeable when you suddenly no longer have that speed up from that item, though, because I just feel like I'm walking so slow right now. But nothing to do about that but wait until we either get a bunch of red hearts so we can be fast again on the next floor, or just simply not have it. Gotta be a little careful here with all this brimstone, but at least these enemies are nice enough to die in one bomb, so doesn't matter too much. Strength card, which I don't really care too much about. There's the battery baby, which I'm guessing might as well blow up for the extra devil deal chance. Would have hoped for a couple more red hearts there as well, but that's fine. But let's see what we have. I could probably tell what... Oh, I could just do this. The lovers, fair enough.
The lovers.
That's pretty much all my health back, so the next floor is going to be a little bit easier because of it. And I'm actually kind of tempted to just use that full health pill at the start of the Womb 2, I guess, because... Or Womb 1, rather, just for that stat up. At the same time, having all that health is pretty good. Don't know what I wanted from this shop right here, but I went in it anyway. But there probably was a very good reason to go in there. One pill. But we're almost done with the depths and onwards to the womb. And once again, when we're done with this challenge, the unlock is just lovely. I will actually just go back to get some of my health back after running into some random spikes there. Also, there is a curse room here, which I can enter. I somewhat regret running into spikes twice in one room, but then there's 2 black hearts in my curse room, so it doesn't even matter all that much. So actually, you could argue it was part of the plan to get 2 black hearts from my curse room. It would be a lie, but it would be a plausible one. Isn't that really the point of deceit? Exactly. Anyway, just a mom fight to go. Not as difficult when your build isn't objectively terrible. Having damage does make fight easier, surprisingly enough. But this does go a little bit quicker when you just have the attacks for it. Could take the damage, actually. Don't hate that idea. Because I do think the damage is based on your tier damage, at least a little bit. So let's just take these 2. And get this one back after that. No worries. 4 heart containers is still a pretty good deal. So let's do that. I will just use full health here because I'm feeling it. And is any of these? That's luck down, and I don't know what the other one is, so probably not something I would want as much as like full health there. Could just leave. tempted. I don't think I can create a bridge anymore. I would have been able to had I not broken that singular rock right there. But I don't think this works, yeah. It's also not spectral tears, so they don't actually go through it. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But I think I will just try and find another full health pill, maybe some soul hearts to replenish my health. But overall, I'm not too concerned, even if we do end up entering the boss room with slightly less than ideal health, I suppose. But getting a black heart from a random donation or a random gambling machine isn't too bad either. I'm just clearing out the rooms in case I have to go back. There is a library here with 3 books, which is exactly what you need for a bookworm transformation. So I think occasionally we might shoot 2 bombs. Is that a good idea? Sure. Probably increases our damage somewhat. Probably not too unsafe. So, yeah, good enough for me, really. Let's just do this one the old explodey way. And before you know it, we're already nearing the depths 2, and thus the end of this challenge. We get a Hierophant card, so that's even more health. And yeah, many bombs works pretty well against bloat as well. That's even more damage. Could take the nail. Do I want it? No. Honestly, no. I miss when the nail was better. I miss when the nail just gave you a full soul heart rather than half of one, because I have been so less tempted to take the nail because of it. Alright. Pretty good fight. Let's just run to our boss, I would say. I don't feel like doing rooms like these because they're just quite frankly too big. They cost too much of my precious, precious time. But I will just take a moment to pick up these red hearts right here because they make me feel safe. Could pick up that one behind the lock as well, but I think that the speed upon which we are doing this floor currently is acceptable. This is the average speed upon which I would like to do this floor every single run. But having a build like this does shine a light on how a good build versus a more average build can just zoom through these floors as well. And I'm not even very good at going fast either. Like, there are people that can just play this so good every time. Also, it lives. Mom's heart's a little different now. We hadn't actually seen this boss functionally identical, but looks a little different. Probably some lore related things to it as well, but that is the end of that challenge. And we unlock the Chaos card, which is a good card to get for a specific situation. So that is good. With that, I will do just one more, which is going to be challenge number 12 here, when life gives you lemons. And after that, I will call it a day. We once again do not get item rooms. We get the lemon mishap item, which is going to help us put a yellow puddle on the floor. And it deals decent damage when enemies step into it. Because we have the 9-volt battery, it is going to recharge after clearing the room every single time. And let's just do this boss fight immediately. Just gonna put that right there. Might also use this lemon mishap pill to create an even larger yellow surface for the enemy to walk into. And also the habit is going to recharge our item when we take damage. So overall pretty good. We get the old bandage, which is going to drop red hearts once again if we take damage from time to time. It actually drops them pretty frequently as well, so I'm pretty happy about that. And yeah, for the most part, this is just going to be creating yellow puddles everywhere and trying to find health. Once again, we are going to Mom's Foot, so it's nice to just get a bunch of these challenges in a row because it's just kind of nice to get them out of the way. Plus, just a couple of these challenges, I just genuinely forgot they even existed. It's one of those, there's a couple of those challenges where you just do them once and then just sort of forget about them. I guess in a way it's kind of unfortunate, but simultaneously it is... it's its own little thing, isn't it? It's not really something to be too overly concerned about, I suppose. But it is somewhat unusual. Like, stuff like greed mode and the daily challenges as well. Like, there's a couple of those things where once you're done with them, you might just be so much less inclined to do them over just the regular stuff. But it might just be because the regular stuff is so good. And it's just, it tends to be filled with a bunch more things to do as well, so it's more likely you just end up sticking to those modes, I suppose. And that is a demon beggar. Tempted to give him exactly 1 heart. There we go. And then give him another heart. And then give him another heart. Alright, yeah, old bandage really doing the old bandage thing. You remember what I said about the nail? It is pretty good if you don't have any soul hearts at that time. So, remember how this was the Life Gives You Lemons challenge? It has just turned into the let's just see if we can make use of the nail a bunch challenge, because getting it for free, I mean, that is still soul hearts. And having it charge up a little bit quicker is pretty great. Having it in combination with the habit is interesting, because that puts you closer to invulnerability than you would expect. So, pretty good. With the nail active, we walk a little bit slower, but we can crush rocks. And that is pretty good. We do a little bit more damage as well, so it is not terrible against bosses, but the speed down is not insignificant, so it is something to be somewhat wary of. Kind of put myself in a hole there. I could have just placed a bomb to not take any damage there, but it got a little bit too close for comfort. Also, I currently have 1 black heart. I'm genuinely a little bit confused. Did I just confuse how the nail works? Did I? Hang on. Hang on. Where? Because I don't remember picking up a... Yeah, okay, it is just half a heart. Never mind. Maybe I just picked up half a soul heart somewhere and then just turned it into a black heart, because it does give you black hearts, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused today. I've been playing Isaac for almost an hour now, and that usually puts me in a strange place. Especially when you do several runs in a row. Once again, that does have a tendency to confuse me at least a little bit. But having the thing recharge every time I take damage, plus it just recharges 1 room quicker than it ordinarily does, it's gonna end up with a lot of black hearts because of it. And that's just wonderful, because the black hearts do have a pretty good room clearance rate for the most part. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I am just doing a bunch of rooms here just for the sake of trying to get a couple consumables here, but that is just about it. I also... there is one nice thing. That's not a nice thing. That's not the nice thing I was going to talk about. There is a nice thing about items like the nail or just soul hearts laying on the floor, which is if you take a Devil Deal item that puts your health at 0, but while you have it above your head you pick up a soul heart or you use the nail, it will basically put you at half a black heart that way, because that's what this item does. And that way you won't be dead after picking up the thing, and this is pretty great. I will just use bombs for this actually, just to make life a little bit nicer. But that tears down made me a little sad. It is going to make things take a little longer. It is the unfortunate downside of taking pills randomly, that occasionally it doesn't work out and only makes things more difficult. But we immediately get a tears up from our boss right here, so it more or less puts us back at where we were. This is not terrible, but I think in a run like this, I don't think I'm going to bother, and instead I will just move on. We only have to go to Mom's Foot anyway, so we don't need as many pickups. We are currently at 6 hearts, of which 2 are soul hearts, I believe. 1 soul heart, 1 black heart, or something like that. Plus we're going to get a little bit more as we use our nail, but if I can just clear 1 more room after this and use the nail, I'll be at half a black heart and we'll be able to deal a bunch of damage to a big room that way if needed. Unfortunately, Wrath decided to show up, so we're just going to be here shooting for a bit. Not really sure how his attacks work, but so far he's just walking towards me. Don't know if it's distance related due to the fact that I'm just standing very close to him, but it didn't seem like Wrath really felt like doing anything today, so that worked out. Kind of feel like I should experiment with that more, because I am curious if I can just sort of cheese every single Wrath fight like that. I think this also works, right? Yeah, you can make bridges like that as well. Works less good when the when the rock has a bomb in it. But I mean, technically, you could try. I don't think it actually creates a bridge if it has a bomb in it due to the explosion, probably. But you know, it is still fun to just walk into a rock, and that's the reason why you will occasionally see me walk into those rocks with bombs inside them. Not because I just didn't pay attention, but because I find it a fun thing to do. It's a fun leisure activity. And that is the end of that. For now though, let's just shoot some mushrooms forever with our incredibly low damage. It is just base damage, Isaac. It can be a little infuriating from time to time when fighting some of the more tanky enemies, especially those mushrooms when they don't actually pop up. Because if they pop up, at least they're kind enough to just take a bunch more damage at the same time, but if they're just sitting there, you're just waiting. That's Mama Mega. I will just do that. Oh my goodness, I could just do this for a minute as well, actually. It's probably not a terrible idea. Should have used this more often, thinking about it. There's a luck up. I was kind of hoping for a couple more red hearts there, but oh well. Yeah. Yeah, there's a very reasonable chance that Mama Mega is going to make an appearance, provided I don't forget. That was a little bit close for comfort, and I don't think that was the best way to do that, but it worked out. I'm just going to bomb these as well. You can't stop me. I suppose you really can't stop me. I can just bomb anything I want in this game. What a sudden revelation about how YouTube videos work. Just an incredible moment there. Having low speed for this boss is actually not great either, but the fact that we can just destroy rocks and also do that as well does help, I suppose. I'm a little bit tempted to stick with the nail over Mama Mega, believe it or not. Simply due to the fact that it just gives us that safety to just win for sure. But Mama Mega is fun, and that is also an important thing to consider. And we just got flight. So actually, you know what? With flight in hand as well, completely change the game for me, and I will just take Mama Mega instead. I will probably use it in the depths too, unless I find something incredible somehow. Might just take one more hit of damage? I don't know what my health actually is right now. I'm pretty sure I still have some red hearts, or black hearts, or whatever. I have hearts of various descriptions. It's more or less what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, just gonna do that. Get that active. Let's blow this up for some red hearts as well. Very good. And let's take this. It is going to make at least one floor slightly quicker. It is likely going to be one of the depth floors. I'm not sure how well it works against Mom. And I'm actually a little curious, because it does open up your boss rush, as I have stated in some time in the past. My health is pretty good right now. My damage is appalling, but it'll just have to make do for now, I suppose. It's going to take a minute to get through these floors this way. And it is a little bit tempting to use Mama Mega over here simply because of the mushrooms as well, because there's so many mushrooms and all of them could technically contain that magic mushroom that I talk about from time to time. But I will just have to try and stop myself from doing that, I think. But my goodness, look at this. Base damage, low tier 8 Isaac trying to fight not even especially tanky enemies, I would say, is a sight to behold. At least we have the safety net that I could just sit over here with my flight and spectral tears because of the dead dove. That it's unlikely that I'm going to take damage in this room. But it is more of a test of patience than the previous builds where, for instance, I just had a lot of bombs. I will probably take the remaining pills at least, because I do now know which one is tears down. So that's kind of nice. Never mind, I found another one. Unbelievable. I did genuinely forget about the experimental pill, and but to get it immediately. That's just really unfortunate. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna actually just use a double card here because he's spawning so many enemies. The thing, like, this boss can do other things. He can do things that are not spawning enemies, but he knows that my damage is terrible and that I don't really have a defense against this. So I'm forced to use that devil card, otherwise we're going to be here by years from now. But fortunately he dropped a new card. It was the Fool card, which could help. Maybe. That is a big room full of bats. I could have just used the Fool card there, I suppose, to just leave, but with the amount of bombs that we have, I don't know if we should even use bombs to do that, actually, because using bombs for damage is actually so much more tempting right now with what we have. So I might just not do that anymore. I will go into my secret rooms, though, in case there is a good secret room item. There is still that item that just gives you stat ups whenever you pick up a health item as well. That is a big one right there. Gonna take a minute to kill. I think it deals 2 hearts of damage if you get hit by the big ones, so it's not a good idea to get hit by those. But the rest of this room, well, it's just gonna take our leisurely time, I suppose. Did not expect this challenge, actually, to end up being the slowest one, but I did make some decisions, I suppose, that didn't help in that regard, because having the lemon mishap is not bad against the enemies that are on the floor. And especially if you just create a couple of those puddles, then it's pretty effective. Like, it deals decent damage for sure. It's just that I have a tendency to get interested by things. And then, yeah, stuff like this happens. But I did learn a couple new things about the nail, I suppose, so I didn't learn anything new about the nail. I knew exactly what the nail was. But sometimes you just have to phrase things in a more positive light. And that is exactly what we're doing today. Plus, we get to see Mama Mega in a floor or two from now, so that's exciting. Tempted to use it on the next phone just because I don't want to do depths like this. But I know that it's probably going to be a better idea to use it on the depths too, and I am still curious about how it actually interacts with the mom fight as well. So we're just going to have to be a little patient today. It is what it is. Tempted to go back for that bomb, actually. Did I see my shop yet? No. I kind of want to look for that as well then, because if there is something good, I kind of want it. Yeah, I'll go back for all of that in a minute. Let's just blow you up. Ah, boy. Oh, jeez. That's a bit of damage right there, but the bombs are doing pretty good at fighting this boss, fortunately. Lost a couple health there, but it'll just have to do. We get some speed up, which I actually don't mind because I was going to go back on this floor anyway, so being able to go a little bit quicker is pretty nice. I used a couple bombs there, so I will probably just go back for the bomb that is still on this floor. There's a soul heart for sale. We could technically get another trinket. Does this drop a trinket? Yeah, bag lunch. Yeah. That would have been so good many floors ago. However, as it stands, with that, I believe it's genuinely a 2% chance of getting it. With that 2% chance of getting a lunch there, that's not bad. But this, I think I prefer. It is a trinket that I unlocked when I played with Apollyon previously. And it is just going to spawn a green fly for every room that we go through. And the green fly does decent damage, so even though the damage I think is based on your tier damage at the same time, it's not bad. Also, I'm just gonna open those 2 golden chests and full card out of there, I think. Yeah. There we go. Take all of that and leave. I was kind of hoping for an item from one of those chests, but a bunch of consumables is never really terrible, I suppose. I am once again considering to just bomb my way through all these places, but this room has 2 different directions we can go to, and the fact is that I don't want to waste my bombs on a room and then accidentally have to go in the other direction instead, so let's just do this, although it is fairly likely we just have to go through the big room. Because it generally it does seem like level generation wants... Well, it wants you to go through as many rooms as possible before you reach the boss, and the big rooms do seem to count for more. I don't know if that's accurate, but it does seem like that's been my experience with it so far. So I'm just gonna hope... I'm gonna hope that we are correct in that assessment. We're getting a bunch of health. And yeah, this was the wrong direction. So, all in all, never listen to me. Because I am wrong sometimes. I should have just... I was gonna say I should have just gotten grabbed by the hand, but it's the wrong type of hand. It's not the grabby one. And it cannot actually be up because there is no room for more rooms in that direction, so at least there's that. But then you have a room like this where it can be up because there is room there. But let's just go through the rooms that take a little bit less time. And then hopefully the next floor is just going to be a visual entertainment masterpiece. That's really what I'm hoping for. The fly did a decent amount of damage to the first one there, and technically they can die in one go. Like, they don't have to go to the next phase of their body before they actually die, but we were decently lucky there, I suppose. That one's poisoned. They all do seem to want to go to that shooting tears phase out of their removed heads, which is fine, I guess. I would have preferred just the legs one, because at least that one doesn't throw tears all over the place. But we did eventually make our way to a boss room after fighting just the tankiest of enemies. These might actually be the tankiest of enemies, thinking about it. Like, given all the other enemies in these parts of the game, these ones in particular just have so much health. And they're not too worrisome usually, but it does take a minute. There is the pile, which I didn't actually know was a Depths boss, but fair enough, I suppose. Let's just deal with these skeletons first. Again, just make sure you're not where you were when he started moving around, and you should be okay for this attack. He also has a charge attack, which isn't great. But if he could just do that... Also, he can spawn skeletons, fair enough. But I kind of wouldn't mind if he did the charge attack, just so I could place a bomb somewhere near him, because it's a little fiddly like this. I mean, he'll die in about 2 years from now, so that's kind of good, I suppose, but... There we go. We managed to get one bomb in. If I can just get the other one to hit as well, that would be lovely. There's the black heart. There's a decent chance I'm going to lose my devil dude. Yep. Because I didn't pay close attention to where he was going. And as such... accidentally got hit there. I would love if he did another attack than the ones he's been doing so far, though, because that charge attack at least is a little bit less annoying than this. Finally. It even hit me as well, and yet I am less annoyed by it. There's the spike thing as well that he can do that doesn't actually affect us. But technically he does have different attacks than the one he's just continuously doing over here. It's just not something that the boss is currently feeling like, I suppose. Which is fair enough. You can't even tell where he's going as well. Like, if you just pay attention to sort of how he's zooming around, you can have a rough estimate of where he's going to pop up. So realistically, doing this fight without taking damage shouldn't be too tricky. The charge attack is probably one of the more dangerous ones, outside of maybe him just spawning skeletons, I suppose. But... yeah, definitely doable. Anyway, it's Mama Mega time, because we are on the last floor of this challenge, and we're just going to breeze through the rest of this, I think. We should hopefully have a bunch of flies available, provided that stuff like this doesn't happen too much, because this can make the flies go into these enemies, and I don't want that. I want to just have an army of flies available, in case Mom's foot doesn't end up dying to these shenanigans. We can get some soul hearts from the blue flames in this room, thanks to our flight, so even if we somehow struggle a bit, we will be able to fight the boss with relative ease, simply because of large quantities of health. If we can just do that a couple times, that would be lovely. There is a trapdoor here with gray chest. Don't really feel like looking at that. Although there could be bombs inside it, I suppose. I'd rather not bother. There's Ragman right there, which was surprising. Stars card, which I think will just teleport me somewhere, right? 2 spades.
Of spades.
I could use this, but yeah, why not? There we go. It put us in a different room. And we are getting some bombs this way as well. So all in all, surprisingly enough, Mama Mega, pretty good item. Not too terrible, in fact, which truly shocks the nation, as they say. So all in all, feeling pretty good about this. A Judgment card, which could be okay. Really no items from any of these chests either. Incredible, because the first 3 challenges went so quickly. And then this one has been going on for as long as I can truly remember. I used my Judgment card. I got an item from a chest. Very good. We got the Mom transformation, so we have a knife, which technically is some damage at least, so there is that. There's another Soul Heart over there. We could get Compost. Converts pickups into blue flies and doubles your... Does that work with... That probably doesn't work with the green flies, does it? Because that would be pretty good, to say the least. I will just keep using it. It works pretty well with the fact that we also have the 9-volt battery as well. Yeah, we have a couple flies now. I don't know why I tried to bomb that. Clearly everything's been bombed. Yeah, I would say that works pretty well. I would say that the Mama Mega works pretty well against this fight, I suppose. And for good measure, let's get a key piece. Also, does the boss rush stay open? Okay, the boss rush does close if you go into the angel room, and that is also a question I had. So I'm happy that got answered. At least something came good. Something good came out of this challenge. This card isn't even that incredible, but it does have its moments, and it has gotten better as well. Because I think with Midas's Touch or something like that, it starts to spawn golden poops, where previously it just filled the rooms with regular poops instead. And that is pretty good. You can get a lot of good stuff out of that, but it has gotten better with certain items now, so that's kind of nice. But that is 4 more challenges taken care of. Challenge 17, 18, 9, and 12. Of course, as per regular numbering methods. Next time we play, I will do another run, probably, maybe a greed mode run, because it has been a minute. And we do need to get some of those greed mode achievements as well, so we'll deal with whatever we deal with next time. And I hope to see you all there. Bye-bye.